Evening everybody, first video of, really first anything much really of 2014, Happy New Year to you all. Here we have the Smithy. You've seen the Blacksmiths before, based on the 1954 O-set manual, and after Winterborn it has been tweaked yet again to make it a bit more reliable, if you like, on steam power. Originally pivots were held in place by spring clips, and there's still one there, and now it's driving other things. It's not so manic anyway. It did used to jam up a little bit, so I've just tweaked it yet again to make it more usable under steam power. There's a collar there instead of a spring clip, and as per the other video last year, I think it was just after Winterborn, the anvil has been beefed up to stop the what was a 1-inch pulley as the anvil head falling down under the force of the hammer, as was then when it was quite manic. I mean, it was probably about 3 times as fast as that. So the washers have been put in there to build it up. We've got a bigger, wider base, head for the anvil, and there's a couple of bolts there just to help hold the shaft in place, because it used to keep bouncing off. But now it's not quite so manic, that ain't an issue. To the left is the Bellows, based on the 1922 instruction manual, number 1 manual I think it was. Again suitably tweaked in this case, not quite so much altered from the original. A few things have been added to make it a little bit less flimsy mainly, and obviously a few extra pulleys for steam drive. Originally it would have had a crank at the back here. The engine seems to be picking up a bit now. Quite a nice Bellows. It would have run a bit faster than that, but I've had to put another stage of pulleys in. But that's quite a nice speed, and not as manic as it was, although it did draw the crowds for what was a simple device when it was the Blacksmith alone. So say here the Bellows from the 1922 manual, more or less. It was actually in the 1906 manual as well, and probably manuals in between. There was a slight change in the design. The only thing I could see was you got these flat trunnions here. You didn't have those to support the main structure, the main frame if you like. There was 5-hole strips there. So I kept with the first one I spotted. What I have done, because initially it was just this frame for this part of the structure, I've added some strips across here, some angled strips there, double angled strips there, and one there, just to stop it rocking a bit. But the engine, the SE2a, mid-70s, SE2a is working a treat. It's still got the Mark II variable speed control, currently working flat out. But this design here on the Bellows is almost like the book. The changes are I've used collars straight away instead of spring clips, although at this speed spring clips will probably be fine. But there was no spacers here, so although it would probably work, it would be, well, a bit ugly, but probably a bit hesitant. So spaced out with washers, because I have a lot more washers than brass collars for the spacer. And as you can see, it was a little bit notchy to start with, but under hand power, but now it's been lubricated and it's running fine. Again with this model, this is exactly as the instructions. Here you can see you've got slotted holes in the side of these triangular plates, these sector plates. They're slightly shorter. A bit later on there's a lot more use for the longer version, but it doesn't seem to mind because the action is quite smooth. But again, there is play there, but it does work very well, very sedate, it's very quite smooth there. I think the Blacksmith could do with a tweak. I'm loath to change the design unless it really benefits the steam, and it is working. It's a bit notchy, to be honest. Sometimes it's trying to jam up, but not too bad. So try and keep them to the designs if possible. Sometimes they're a bit too flimsy for steam power. The Blacksmith's got 2 strips together on each leg to give them a bit more stiffness, where the original model only had 1. But there you go, folks. It's quite a sedate model now, and everything seems to be running okay. This is the first firing, and I'm very impressed actually with the bellows. It's running really smooth. Right, folks, I'll just give you a bit of a close-up of the pulley drives and the cranks. Obviously running off the steam engine here, driven off its brass, half-inch pulley with a spring cord cut down to fit, onto a 2-inch pulley. Inside the 2-inch pulley, which you might just be able to see through the holes in the pulley there, there's a 1/2-inch Meccano pulley onto this 2-inch pulley here, which of course drives this crank here and drives the arm and its hammer. This end of the first stage, you've got another 1/2-inch pulley onto a 2-inch pulley, which drives this 1/2-inch pulley there through a couple of spring cords, which annoys me because one was just slightly too short, and this one's obviously 2 together is way too long, so it's quite a waste of one, but it works nicely. I was expecting a bit of a slipping on the 1/2-inch there, but it's doing well. Again, that drives the crank the other end there, the other end at the top. And that's about it. It's really quite simple. A bit of redesign here and there. I did have to take the steam engine off to put this structure on here. But there you are, it's a very simple model, but quite nice to watch. Perhaps it's not as manic, it won't draw the crowds in, if you like, as it did before. There's all thinking, why, what was that? But there you go. Looks like just coming to the end of the run there. There you have it. The Blacksmith Smithy from the 1954 O set for the Blacksmith and the 1922 1 set for the Bellows. See you again, folks.